All right, John, Open for Business is awesome. I love the newsletter. I know you got a YouTube channel. It's all happening in the Big 12 right now. What's your reaction been to Big 12 Basketball Media Days so far?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me. Look, interesting to hear Brett Yormark. In full disclosure, I have a day job, so I just popped in to get Brett Yormark, and I'm back out. So that was the only part I was here for. So my apologies to everyone at Women's Basketball Media Day. But Yormark kind of taking the same stand on a lot of things that we've heard before. I did think his answer on private equity was interesting, where he's saying, hey, we don't want private equity. We're not going to give up a stake in the conference. But I think he's alluding to, like, private capital might be something, too. He said there's a scenario that could work out for that. He's still pushing that expansion of the NCAA basketball tournament, which that's not my favorite thing in the world. I don't think it's anybody's favorite thing in the world, but he's still open, obviously, to that. I'm trying to think what else. I thought his answer, to the question about would you support a playoff format that gave equal auto bids to every single conference, which he technically does right now, the 5+11. But there's been a report from Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports that, hey, the Big Ten's actually thinking, all right, fine. We'll kick around a format that has 3 or 4 auto bids for the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, and Big 12, all the same. Will that appease everybody? Can we move forward that way? And Brett Yormark said, hey, let's talk. So he also said they're not talking right now about formats. I think that's something on down the road. But at least this is like a public declaration to, like, hey, let's come to the table and talk about this.
That was a good question by you, which I thought was interesting. This summer he was you got to earn it on the field and that thing. He kind of defended that stance. That was interesting. International rights, monetizing the Big 12 was interesting too. Men's basketball feels like the product that probably would be the one to push. I don't know if college football is the one. How do you feel about it internationally? Because that is unique.
It is. The fact that they're going to play a game over in London, which he mentioned he was just there for 36 hours. I'm like, man, the life of a commissioner. You just go in and out of London. But Kansas and Arizona State obviously are going to play that game next year. I'm of two minds on this. Like, the actual college football fan in me is like, can we just play games on campus? Because it's not just international. It's that we got to move. What is it? Georgia Tech, I think, is moving now to Atlanta, like to the Georgia Dome, whatever it's called now, where the Falcons play. Mm-hmm. And it's like, play those games on campus. They were great. Everybody watched that crazy overtime game last year on campus. It was awesome. Like, why are we moving games away from there? But when you're the Big 12 and you need to maximize every revenue stream, like, I also understand Brett Yormark saying, hey, we can monetize what we're doing internationally, and so why not try to do this with football, men's basketball, whatever it's going to be, right? Like, they were going to do Kansas, Houston at one point, and Mexico. I guess that's off the table for now. So there have been a lot of ways that they've explored that. I understand the position that they're in, while also saying, I just don't like the current state of the sport, but the Big 12's just reacting to what everybody else has done to kind of pigeonhole them and put them in this position.
Yeah, he's trying to do something different. I'm surprised BYU's not been in the international game conversation given the global reach of the church. I think BYU should be in Mexico City at some point, frankly, or Sao Paulo.
Yeah, I think that makes all the sense in the world. Like, first of all, you just talk about, like, brands in general with the Big 12. I mean, BYU has, like you mentioned, like a built-in more global brand and fan base, but also BYU's red hot right now. Like, that's the other thing. Has there ever been a better time to get BYU out? I mean, you guys would have better context on that than I, but certainly I feel like in my lifetime, the BYU brand has never been cooler, more popular than it is right now, with back-to-back years starting 7-0 in football now. AJ DeBonsta coming in basketball this year. I was watching those exhibition highlights of him the other day. I'm like, man, yeah, this is going to be fun to watch this season, right? So with all that, you've got a great product to promote in addition to having the built-in audience. So, like, yeah, I would love to send AJ overseas to attract some new fans, man. I think that would be a great move for the Big 12, yeah.
We got 6 months of him, so better hurry if that's going to happen, right? He's one and done. What do you make of the Big 12 football race so far? Obviously, Cincinnati's kind of the ASU from last year as of now. BYU continues to do it. Texas Tech dropping that game to ASU was big. I know Brett Yormark wants 2 bids, but I think Texas Tech losing doesn't really help that.
No, it doesn't help it at all. That's the unfortunate thing. Like, it's fun from a, hey, this league is just zany and crazy standpoint. And by the way, the Big 12 should not apologize for that. I feel like it's always been kind of derisively said, like, hey, the Big 12 has all this parity and stuff. Look at the rest of college football. Like, the best team in the SEC lost to 3-4 Florida State. And they're talking about how every game's like the NFL and it's so close. All of college football has turned into that. So there's an element of that that's fun and exciting and everyone has a shot. But you're right. Texas Tech dropped 7 spots after losing by 4 on the road with a backup quarterback to the defending Big 12 champs. That kind of tells you what at least the AP voters think about the league. Hopefully the committee sees it a little bit differently. but you just never know, and I certainly would not be counting on that, that the committee is going to see it differently. And BYU right now, I mean, unbeaten, but yet 2-loss Notre Dame is just one spot behind, right? And we saw how, I mean, I feel like I ranted and raved about this all of last year, but the way BYU was treated in the at-large process last year, which was ridiculous. I mean, had an objectively better resume than Miami, beat a team in SMU from that conference that went to the college football playoff, and it was just like, no, well, whatever, we're not going to consider them at all. So I do have my doubts that a two-bid Big 12 is coming, but for now it does make for a really fun conference race. BYU at the forefront of it all, not just because they're unbeaten, but because of the schedule that's coming up, right? I mean, you're going through like the line of heavy hitters. Like I am so curious about what happens with Cincinnati. I mean, they have impressed the absolute heck out of me, and now they get to go try and prove it in their stretch run of the season too, really, against some of the heavier hitters. They already got rid of Iowa State, which I didn't think would happen at all, and they really punked them. So I think it'll be fascinating. I actually asked this question to my buddy on the 3 Mile podcast that I do for K-State earlier today. Would you take Texas Tech or the field right now if I gave that to you? And I was like, that's a hard question because we don't know about Baron Morton's health. That's really, to me, what it comes down to. If Baron Morton's healthy, if you can guarantee me his health, I still think they're the considerable favorite. But he's been hurt 3 times already this year. He's been hurt a bunch of times in his career. I think it's pretty darn wide open.
Can't wait to watch it. Yeah, BYU's got Iowa State, Texas Tech, TCU, Cincinnati still down the pipe. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's talk about BYU Utah. Were you at the game? Did I hear that? You went to the game? I missed you in the press box. My bad, man.
Yeah, no, I was there. Hey, it's all good. I know there's a bunch going on, and that was just a crazy day for everybody, but just awesome. I mean, first of all, shout out to John McBride and Kenny Cox, everybody who helped make that happen for me. Really appreciate that, and I had a blast. I mean, what an amazing atmosphere. I went to the K-State BYU game last year. Wasn't much of a game, but it was a great atmosphere there too. I mean, I felt the stadium shaking during the return, which is one of the cooler moments I've experienced. And I traveled everywhere around the old Big 12 for 10 years. I mean, Oklahoma, Texas, multiple times, everywhere across that league. It's as good as it gets, I think, in Provo, And it's not just the fans, which are a huge part of it, but just the in-game elements, the drone, the lights, I don't know what you call it between the third and fourth quarter that happens there.
I don't know that we have a name for it either. It's just craziness, turbulence.
But it's amazing, and I think people are starting to realize that. And so from the pomp and circumstance to just the actual implications of the game, I mean, that was fascinating too, everything that's going on, obviously for BYU, but also is Kyle Whittingham, is he sort of fading off into the distance here as his career, the end of his career approaches? I mean, just so many ramifications from that game. But I was telling you, the thing that I will take away from that and remember is just I feel like I was there for the genesis of Bear Bachmeier becoming national name. That felt like the real coming out party, an environment where you would figure that he would be the guy that might wilt a little bit under the pressure, the bright lights, a tough defense that he's facing. And the box score just doesn't do him justice at all. I was looking at the final stats. I'm like, it is so much more than the box score. The poise that he played with, didn't make the big mistake, and then makes 2 legendary plays. I mean, those highlights of the touchdown run and then the hurdle, that's going to be on the Jumbotron at LaVell Edwards Stadium for the next couple decades. I mean, that'll be there forever. So just an incredible performance from him. I can't wait to watch that guy for the next few years.
7-0 and still going with the true freshman quarterback. John, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with everything, and we're happy that you could visit Provo and have a good time, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy. I'll be back, I think, in February for a basketball game. So looking forward to that. Yeah.